Hey guys, this is Anita. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all standalones I'm going to read in 2022. I already talked about the series I want to pick up in 2022. I linked that video in the description below if you want to check it out. These are only standalones. Most of them are very popular in booktube. I added 10 fantasy, 10 science fiction and 1 horror and 1 thriller. I may read non-fiction too, but I did not add them in this list. Last year I planned to read 1 non-fiction per month. It worked well for 3 months. Then I joined Discord and started participating in buddy reads. After that I did not read non-fiction at all, so I'm not sure how it works out in 2022. Without any further delay, let's see what I have in the list. First book in my list is Song of Achilles by Madeleine Miller. Last year the first book I read was Seal by Madeleine Miller. I liked her writing a lot and I enjoy Greek mythology, so I have very high expectations on this book. This is going to be one of the first books I read in 2022. Second book is Sword of Kagan by M.L. Wang. This book doesn't need introduction. This is well loved in booktube. This has elemental magics and battle scenes. That's all I needed to hear. When I heard about it, I immediately added it to my TBR, and I also heard that this has one of the best mother characters. Maybe I'll read it for Mother's Day. Let's see. And the third book in my list is The Invisible Life of Adela Rue by V. Schwab. Last year when I found booktube, every channel I watched talked about this book. I read Shades of Magic series by V. Schwab this year. Though that series isn't one of my favorites, I liked V. Schwab's writing and I liked the premise of this book. And the next two books are Warbreaker and Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. I'm finally planning to start Brandon Sanderson this year. I'll start with Mistborn and then I'll read Warbreaker and Elantris. I think Warbreaker is loved by everyone, but Elantris is divisive. I'm not sure where I'll land. Let's see. Next book in my list is Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I read Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. Though I could not connect with the characters in Night Circus, I loved the setting. It has whimsical feeling towards it. And the premise of Starless Sea sounds so magical. It reminded me of Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. I enjoyed that book a lot. This also about books, story within a story, so I'm hoping I'll enjoy this too. And the next two books are by Neil Gaiman, Ocean at the End of the Line and Coraline. Last year I read Stardust and Graveyard Book. I love Neil Gaiman's writing. His books are short and they transport us to this completely different universe, and I love Neil Gaiman's narration. His audiobooks are fantastic. And the next book is Palace of Illusions by Chitra Banaji Devakruni. This is Indian mythology retelling. As a child, I read many Indian mythological retelling books, but all of them are in my first language. I haven't read many in English. My friend Sal recommended this to me and Evie. Evie and I are planning to buddy read this. Evie sent me this book. I'm very excited to read this book. And the next and last fantasy book in my list is Mythic Dream. This is a short story collection. Last year Evie read this and talked about this. I think all of them are mythology stories. I love mythology. All authors are very popular authors. Many of these authors are on my list to read, so I'm very excited to read this. Next 10 books are going to be science fiction. So the first science fiction and 11th book in my list is Kindred by Octavia Butler. I read Earthseed Series by Octavia Butler this year and I loved her writing. I had a separate review for that series which I'll link in the description below if you want to check it out. I heard so many good things about Kindred and I love the premise. I can't wait to read it. And the next book in my list is Cage of Souls by Joykowski. If you have been on my channel, you all know how much I enjoyed Guns of the Dawn and how much I am enjoying Shadows of the Hap series by Joykowski. He has become one of my favorite authors. I can't wait to get to this one. And the next book in my list is Seven Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stewart Turton. I found the premise very interesting. I think the main character wakes up every time in different body until he solves his death. And I heard it has a science fiction twist. That sounds very interesting. And the next book in my list is Martian by Andy Ware. It doesn't need introduction. The movie is very popular. I've watched the movie. I'm not a big fan of the movie. At the same time, it is not bad. I just find it slow, though it's good. And I heard that book is way better than the movie, so I'm very excited to read this one. And the next in my list is Recursion by Blake Crouch. Last year I read Dark Matter. It is very entertaining, though main character is a little boring. I heard that Recursion is better than Dark Matter, so I'm looking forward to this. Blake Crouch books are very fast reads, so it will work as palate cleanser in between big fantasy books. And the next book is Flash for Algernon by Daniel Keyes. This is a classic sci-fi. I think this is about a kid who is mentally challenged but finally becomes intelligent. I heard this is going to be emotional read, so I have to keep my tissues ready. Next two in my list are Ted Chiang's short story collections, Stories of Your Life and Others, and Exhalation. I heard so many good things about these short stories. Stories of Your Life and Others is on my 2021 TBR, but I could not get to it. But I'm definitely going to read both of these in 2022. Next two in my list are by Stephen King. I am finally starting Stephen King, but I don't read horror generally, so I'm picking science fiction by him. One is Five Starter and the next one is 11/22/63. I like premise of both of these and decided to go with this. And the next in my list is the only horror book, that is What One Wouldn't Do. It's an anthology. All the stories in this anthology follow one theme, that is the lengths one might go to get what they want. Leslie from the Nerdy Narrative read this and reviewed this. When I saw her review, I immediately added this to my TBR. I am not a horror reader, but I am going to read this collection. And the last book in my list is Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. This year, a couple of my real life friends started reading Karen Slaughter and they are enjoying her books a lot. We all enjoy Law and Order SVU and discuss those cases. They told me that these books reminded of Law and Order SVU. I wanted to join them, but I could not because of my commitments in fantasy buddy reads. One of my friends sent me Pretty Girls for my birthday this year, so I'm planning to start with this one. I am going to pick up more by Karen Slaughter whenever I get time between fantasy books. These are the 22 books in my list, and I'm sure I'm going to pick up more. I'm planning to read a couple of non-fiction books which are on my TBR from long time. If you have read any of them, let me know what your thoughts on them. Please like, comment and subscribe. See you in the next video, and Happy New Year. Bye bye.